Welcome once again. We are looking at another aspect of geography. I am still your servant, Sir Ama Sanity, taking you through another section today. We are going to look at the relationship among relief and other features on topo sheet. The connection, the interrelationship that exists between relief, that's the topography of an area, and other features on topo sheet. So take your books and your pens. Let's try to learn and go together. So you start with our first thing. We're looking at the influence of relief on drainage. How relief influence drainage. How relief influence drainage. Now on maps, drainage refers to all water bodies such as rivers, lakes, streams, and others. Now relief influence drainage in the following ways. Now let's look at the various ways that relief will influence drainage on a particular topo sheet. Now relief affects the way water flows. Don't forget, on a steep slope, water flows quickly, cutting downwards and creating steep-sided or V-shaped valleys. Whereas on a gentle slopes, river flows what? Slowly due to the flat nature of the relief. So there is no influence of gravity or velocity on the speed of the river. Meanders are common at where there is what? River flowing easily or gently. And there is more lateral erosion and valleys are what? Wider. Now again, in areas that are flat or nearly flat, there may be swampy or marshy areas where water collect. So you may see area liable to flood on the map and other things. That place tells you that the relief of that area is low, not high. It's low. That's why the place is subjected to what? Flood. This area is subjected to what? Flood. Good. Then the influence of relief on vegetation. Now, very steep slopes are difficult to settle or cultivate. Until normally you check on our mountains, on highlands, you don't normally see settlement or people living on the steep side of a mountain because it would not be easy for them to build houses there on an area having that steep road. So therefore, natural vegetation is usually allowed to thrive or grow on these slopes. So you see that the various species of plant will be growing at that place, but buildings will not be found on such a or settlement will not be found on such a because the place is having a steep slope. Sometimes on the map you may see some forested areas or other natural vegetation on steep slopes. Sometimes there are areas of small scale cultivation on steep slopes. So you should be able to identify and know all these things when you are trying to describe and explain how relief influence vegetation on a particular topo sheet. Often in gentle slope or flat areas, the natural vegetation has been cleared and have been cleared away so the land can be used for other purpose like road construction, settlement, and other social amenities. So when we have flat area, when we have low-lying area or relief, people get it easy or find it easy to build their houses and other things that they will need in their daily activities there. There may be large-scale commercial agriculture in these areas where we have low land or low-lying area. Then what about settlement? How does relief influence settlement? In exams, it can ask you see that we have highlands, we have lowlands. Then we need to describe settlement features on the map. It is easier to build in flat or gentle sloping areas. So you can say that most of the settlement on the map area are found or built in the low-lying area out, example, the southwestern part of the map or at the northeastern part of the map or at the central part of the map where we have a low-lying area because at these places people build more houses there. People used to live there than living or settling on a mountain. Take note. Now, major settlements such as towns and cities are usually located on flat areas, as I said that. Hospitals, schools, churches, and other things, all of them are normally found in those areas. And steep slopes are often sparsely populated or even uninhabited. And area where you have steep slope, you don't see people living there because that place is very having steep slope. It's not gentle or even. So it will be very difficult for people to live at such areas having what? Steep slopes on the map. Steep slopes on the map. Communication. Communication. Major roads are usually built in flat or gentle slope areas where possible. Most of the time, they build the roads on a gentle slope. Roads are built on gentle slope because it's very difficult for it to build the roads on steep or rugged terrain. When roads are built on steep slopes, they tend to zigzag or they will meander the road or it will turn in the form of zigzag way or they will be curling the road like when you go to Kwawu area in Ghana, for instance. You see there are some roads, the road will not be going straight because it is a mountainous area. So the road will be in the form of zigzag manner or it will be curling before they get to one destination or one settlement to another. And their way up the slope with many sharp bends. Those roads that are built on steep slopes have very sharp bends. As I said, example is the Kwawu area in Ghana. On steep slopes, you may find smaller minor roads. In some rugged or mountainous regions, you may find areas with footpaths or tracks, but no roads be there because that area are having steep slopes. Look for these patterns when analyzing your map so that you can give a good explanation to that. Then for land use, you should know, like when you land, talking about the purpose of what that area is being used for. What that area, either for agricultural use, for commercial use, the things that are found there determine the use of that area. So you should examine all these things and get them there. Now, drainage also has some influence on settlement. Drainage have some influence also on settlement. So there's another major factor which influences many aspects of life. The influence of drainage can often be seen on a map, since drainage may impact land settlements are often located near rivers. So where sometimes in the olden days, people used to settle along the banks of a river, so that they can get water to do their farming, to feed on for the domestic use and other things. Then sometimes you may see linear settlement along the banks of rivers. They at times influence the economic activity of the people in that town or city. So all these things also influence settlement. Then drainage and vegetation. Plants that inhabit waterlogged areas need to have special adaptation in order to survive. So not all plant species can do well at where we have drainage or more water area. There are some specific species that do well in an area where we have a waterlogged area or without water. Communication and, as I said, about transportation, they are all the same. So that is the end of this session. So thank you very much for your time.